When I was in Martinique, I used to go to the movies every Sunday because we had the matinee. With children, we had to be very good at home and do our homework well and make our parents happy in order to have that little coin. And my father was one of the head of a big factory in Martinique, and he loved the arts. You know, he loved to do sculptures. You know, he always been, you know, my first audience. I will write poetry, I will write songs, and when he will come back from work, I will take care of him. But he knew that when I will be doing that, it would be because I had something to read, you know, to read to him, ask him his opinion about. I knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker since I was 10, 11 years old. There was nobody there talking about going to study film because it was such something so impossible for us, you know, in the Caribbean. I discovered Truffaut in Martinique before I came to France to study film. When I came to study, I already had in my luggage Sugarcane Alley. You know, I had the book, and I started to write on my own the screenplay. So every Sunday afternoon, my friend at the student's house, we will gather in the garden with tea, with cookies. I will be reading the new scenes that I wrote during the week. And Truffaut's daughter came one day and she heard, you know, one of the scenes, and she knew that I loved her father's work a lot. So she said, why don't you give me the script when it's done, and I'll give it to my dad, you know? And I said, we'll see. And when I finished the writing, I decided to, yes, to let it go. And a week later, I got a call from Truffaut. I read your script. Oh my God. Well, I was going to meet the master, and my dream came true. When I did Sugarcane Alley, nobody wanted to produce that movie. One of the first movies of the kind with, 99% of black people in that movie. It was a period piece, and I was unknown. I was young, I was female, and I was black. I decided that they will not stop me. My grandmother used to tell me, if you want to do something and you really feel it in your heart that that's what you want to do, they could put in fences and say, okay, you can go there, you can do this. It's impossible. You just fly over it, okay? And that's it. When I found a producer, actually, who wanted to do it, Truffaut took me to his lawyer, and he asked that man to take care of me, to sign my deal and everything. And he said, I believe that if Mr. Truffaut brought you here, it's because he saw something in that story and in you. So you should trust yourself and trust your story, and we'll see. And the movie was in 1983, the French film that had, the most awards in Venice Film Festival. The movie changed my life, changed other people's life, and also that movie brought me to America. But I was so scared. I was afraid of Hollywood. Hollywood never been my cup of tea. And going to a big budget film like A Dry White Season with stars like Brando, Donald Sutherland, Euzhan Palcy, it was, of course, a huge difference. There is one thing that my father always taught me: never let myself be disturbed by anybody's being a star or being bigger or richer or whatever. Just see the human being that is in front of you. I wrote the screenplay, I adapted the book. So I wanted to have somebody like Donald Sutherland to portray Ben Dutoit, who was that Afrikaner history teacher who didn't know anything about what was going on in the township. And then Euzhan Palcy, actually, she's the one who called us to say, I want to be part of this. This is important. I'm the one who said, I want Brando, because I wanted Brando to portray that lawyer, that anti-apartheid lawyer, because of his past, you know. He was an activist as well. He was a militant. I'm not interested in politics in my film. I'm much more interested in how people, my characters, or human beings, can be affected by life, by everything. Aimé Césaire is a father of the Negritude movement. They decided when they were young students in France to just have this huge scream, like the Negro scream. We are humans like you. Okay, we are smart, we are beautiful, we exist. I did a 3-part documentary film about him to show all the big human battles, the great causes that he took part of. That was very important. And he was my mentor, my spiritual mentor. And I have to say that Amy Caesar made me who I am. Women, they have a very important, they play a very important role in all my films, because in life, they play that role. In my life, my grandmothers, they are in my films. They are there. And they are the symbol of many grandmothers in the world. I will never forget that very important sentence from a Kenyan writer. He said, educate a man, you educate an individual. Educate a woman, you educate a nation. The more time is passing, the more difficult I found that it is to make films, to make the films that I would like to make. I have a lot of offers. People, they send scripts. I turned down 4 screenplays with money attached. I mean, it came from my heart and from my belief, and I had a mission, you know, as a filmmaker. I tried to analyze, you know, why I felt so attracted to the theaters when I was a child in that deep countryside in Martinique. It was magical for me to be in a theater and to see the moment when the light will go out, and then the curtain will open, and then to see that screen, you know, and then to see the light coming on the screen and the images. That was something, it was such a treat for me. Staying in Martinique, in that little village, sit and in my chair, and I will be all over the world, you know, going to the movies. Still today, I like to sit down there, you know, and then wait for that moment when the light will go, and then the same rituals. I love it, and it's still magical to me.